Hello. I would like to do a reading for you with a different deck than I normally do because I purchased this deck a while ago and I haven't really used it much. So let's begin, shall we? This is a timeless general reading for all signs, and the intention I'm going in this with is the most benevolent outcome for everyone involved, and may the presence of the infinite Holy Spirit and the originator be here. Alright? So if you have any issues in life you're dealing with right now that you want a resolution to in some way, beneficially, benevolently, for all involved, just take a deep breath and clear it out of your energy field. There is no problem for you to deal with right now, okay? Divine Sisterhood card. So you, in order to resolve this problem in your life, you have to communicate with someone. Spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. You can't always do things on your own. You have to communicate with two people. They're using their right hand and their left hand to connect within this temple, this beautiful golden ornate place with, geez, this is an amazing, gorgeous card. Amazingly gorgeous card. The vulture headdress, the solar headdress, being held by the crescent and the Taurus. You could be dealing with a Taurus. Oh, this looks like one of the fairies in the fairy oracle card. Okay. Whatever you're going through, you are being asked to communicate with the community of spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. So if there's a card reader that is of the light, if there is a Reiki healer, an energy practitioner, someone you garden with, someone you do things of the light with, you're being asked to communicate with them. To stay true in your own sense of power. To be authentic to yourself. The authenticity came up in the fairy reading I was just doing. And the Temple of Lapis Lazuli. This is a card that, all these cards come with a meditation, but we're going to do the Temple of Lapis Lazuli because this card also communicates about authenticity. The balance of the 5 points with the triangle of power and the dome that is indestructible. You know the dome structure is unbreakable. And then the Merkaba at the bottom of it with the trinity of luminous bodies. Basically the center, which is you, and then Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Father, Mother, Son, and Daughter. And then the Spirit connecting everything, the 5 elements, and then the 6th, the light. The blue of communication, honesty, sincerity, the depths of emotion. The blue is also known to be the color of the firmament above you. So this could be a chunk of the firmament coming down from heaven to you to help you stay true in your power, to communicate with the community of divine brothers and sisters, your soul tribe, to create a better outcome for everybody. And here's another vulture headdress on top of her head. And I've been seeing this hook quite a lot in a lot of different places. The scarab on her chest, symbol of power, regeneration, restructuring. The X's down there, which are 4 corners, the 2 of Wands and the sign of the gifted. The X-Men, I think Adelina calls it the Gifu rune. It's been a while since I read runes, but I believe it's the Gifu rune. And then the braid of the X, which is, how do I explain this to you? In order to make an X, you need 2 points. Those 2 points multiply to 4 points. Those 4 points intersect at the center at the crossroads. At the crossroads, you communicate with the light and the dark. Through the communication of the light and the dark within the crossroads of this power, you're being drawn into by something having ended through the vulture, and knowing that it had to end, but knowing that through the ending comes the rebirth from heaven itself, sending you the key to activate your Merkaba vessel, your light body, to move forward to a transitionary experience where you go from being alone to a divine community that helps you stay true to who you are. And the bottom of the deck is the brother in darkness, which is, again, you're not alone. You're not alone. The brother in darkness says it's overcoming negative energy with feminine power. The divine sisterhood. The divine sisterhood is bringing you, not the divine Yaya sisterhood, okay? It's bringing you to the brother in darkness to help you stay true and be true in your own power of your authentic self-expression. Here it's the miracle of Isis when she goes into the underworld to bring her mate back from the dead, putting him back together. I mean, the amount of love she felt to go through everything she went through for someone. That's love. And you went through something for someone and yourself, and you've been in the darkness for so long, where you've been like entombed within this fake smile you've put on your face, thinking that everyone's gonna fall for it. But you've been untrue to yourself. And the divine message coming through here for you is stay true to who you are. If you're sad, be sad. If you're happy, be happy. But be authentic in it. Because you can't move forward and overcome the negative energies and even transmute the negative energies with this symbol or this power, or this mindset, this energy, if you aren't allowing miracles in your life, which is right here, and if you're not allowing community in your life. So if you're isolating yourself and then you're constantly thinking how sad and depressed you are and how nothing's working out for you, well, obviously, because you're not being true to yourself. You need connection. You have to allow for miracles. If there are, look at it this way. You could be, what I'm picking up right now is that you could be a card reader online, or someone in the spiritual community, or someone thinking about going into the spiritual community, but you're uncertain, you're unsure, and you're afraid because of everything you've known, maybe the paradigm and programming you've been in. The message coming through here is trust in yourself, the light and the crown chakra above you, the fact that you've been through the worst and you've learned from it, and everything you've gone through has propelled you to being a match to the community of spiritual brothers and sisters of the light. The negativity you went through that you're attempting to overcome was only there to bring you to this community. And with this community, these beings, these people, help you stay true and be in your power. Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. You know, lapis lazuli was also a stone worn by the pharaohs, the kings, the queens. It was a stone of gods, basically. You've been pretending to be small when inside of you flows the power of godhood and miracles and unconditional love and receiving and giving and creation itself. And you've been hiding behind the mask of a jackal, of someone who's not intelligent, someone who's hiding, someone who, pretends to be something they're not. And that has to end, because the path you're moving forward, you are going to help other people in the community to evolve themselves and stay true to their own power, to accept their own divine birthright and the ancients' powers and the future powers of that soul being, to move forward, to create miracles where you are. This is really massive, actually, the more I'm looking at this. The people watching could very well be having their own channels, their own, YouTube channels where they do card readings. And you seem to be, I'm not going to pry too much, but I'm going to pry. Because it's what I do. This is the Druid Oracle, or the Druid Tarot deck. Okay. Now, I would like some clarification in regards to the Divine Sisterhood and Brotherhood of the Light, and what their role is here for the people watching. Why is it important for the people watching to communicate with their community? To be a part of a community instead of thinking that their community is their, you know... Oh! Oh! Oh, geez. Someone's dealing with ego. Oh, before I even turn these cards over, someone here is dealing with ego. Because it's a community. And the Stone of Kings and Queens and the Goddess of the Ancient Skies coming up in just a card away from the Stay True and Be in Your Power card means that you have taken the community you've been in and used it to fuel your fucking ego, which has made you not true to who you are, and you've lost your power, which has brought you to a sense of negativity because you've probably been doing some shady shit. And in doing that, you have lost your sense of authenticity, and you've been asking for miracles to help you create a path in life to move forward. Oh, look, the scales of balance. Because you've been completely unbalanced in your own power. You've been abusing your power. You've been, and excuse me for saying this, you've been abusing your subscribers, basically, by pretending to be something you're not. And in doing so, you've lost your stream of positive energy. The balance of the scales has been tipped towards the negative. And this card is coming up, the Brother in Darkness, with the Sisters and Brothers of Light, showing you that in between the darkness and the light are the scales of balance, helping you to stay true in your power and embrace your goddess and God self with dignity, grace, and the acceptance of miracles in life, because it's not just about you and your pain with your partner, it's about everyone in the collective. Holy shit. I need a minute. That wasn't even... Oh. Like, somebody really is abusing the privileges of the community of sisters and brothers, the spiritual community, for their own needs, because they're very sad and they're very lonely and not a person of light. It's almost like an Archon puppet that is lying to people to gather subscribers and manipulate readings to get what they want. But in doing so, they're only hurting themselves, and they're being inauthentic to themselves. And the scales have to be balanced because this person is supposed to be helping everybody. Okay. So on one side of the scales, you have somebody abusing their social media platforms for, you know, appreciation and love and likes and whatever else to make themselves feel better. Very normal thing for most people who don't really have a lot of friends in real life. Or people who have just... I mean, I don't have a lot of friends in real life, and I don't really feel this at all for me. And I don't include myself in my readings, but I'm attempting to relate to this to give you a life experience example, because it's just really, really intensely putting the point forward in your life, and the message is coming forward in like a hook, that whoever this message is for, whomever is watching this, the people, and especially the people in the spiritual community, you're being called out. The lies, the manipulation, the darkness within your life that you have enacted on to make yourself seem better have only resulted in showing you to the spiritual world, the other side, of how much you actually need a miracle in your life to bring you back to your true power. And if you come back to your true power and the scales balance, you get given your Merkaba and your God gifts, basically, your authentic self. But if you continue with the negative energy and you involve yourself in darkness, the scales get tipped on the other side. You lose your sense of true power. You get taken away from the sisterhood and brotherhood of the light. The miracles go towards others, and you're kind of back at the beginning. So the only way to move forward is to be a part of the spiritual community of the light, to transmute the dark negative energy into something beneficial. The scales must be balanced, and those watching have unbalanced the scales within themselves because they are using their community to make themselves feel better for not having. What are they doing to make themselves feel better? Why are they doing this? Closing up a chapter, making decisions, moving forward, offering love because something in your life was destroyed. So, how funny. 4 cards come out. 4 cards on here. Bottom of the deck is the 6 of Swords. So the sisterhood and the brotherhood, the world, the collective, okay? The Lord, the Emperor, staying true to your power and your authority. Fits. The Prince of Cups, an offering of divine love and energy by the time of a new moon or the last phase of the moon. I forget what it's called. So from this new moon till the next new moon, you're being given the opportunity to move away from the destruction that can be caused by you remaining in negative energy, to accept the gift given to you by the universe to balance the scales. And in order to do this, to accept the gift appropriately and respectfully, you have to move away from the negative energy. Just let it go and accept the community within you and around you. Whether this isn't for romantic relationships. I apologize, but this doesn't have any sense of romantic sense to it whatsoever. This is about somebody battling their inner female and male, being inauthentic, not speaking their own truth, and using negative energy to destroy the foundations of what they've built so that they can keep rebuilding and reliving the cycle, because apparently they like getting high off of the power they get from likes, comments, and subscribers. Basically, like when you go and get an energy healing session done and you feel great, but after a while you got to maintain the energy yourself. You have to keep doing things for yourself. You can't just keep going and charging yourself up like a Reiki battery and then being like, oh, it's cool, I have a community, I'm just going to keep going to that Reiki healer. No, you got to do it yourself. If you're going to claim to be a reader, if you're going to claim to be an energy healer, if you're going to claim any spiritual gifts, you have to be true to yourself. You have to take charge of your negative energy and your positive energy to balance the scales, to bring harmony to the destruction you've already caused and the instability you've caused on the cosmic scale, because you're supposed to play a big part in all of this. There's someone that is just appearing in the community. They've closed a chapter in their life and they're moving towards the spiritual community. And someone already in the spiritual community is supposed to help them find their true power and move forward through the negativity with love in their heart, to bring love to the negative, to destroy the foundations of the negative, to balance the scales and move forward with a community. But if this person who's supposed to help this other person is being a phony McPhony face, then you're not going to have any of this. It's basically just going to be, you want to stay in your power and be with the community? No? Great. Here's your just negativity and your destruction. How long do you want to stay in this? Because we can loop this back and forth over and over. Negativity happens, things get destroyed. Negativity happens, things get destroyed. If you communicate with your community, with the light within you, you can actually move forward and close the chapter of negativity in your life and go towards your own power, your own empire, your own legacy, your own business, career, your own family. But you have to leave the bullshit behind. The negativity has to go. It simply has to. So I don't know who you are, but energetic imprint, I can kind of pick up on it. If you're, the energy I'm picking up is very, 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 and I mean this in the most respectful way, shady. And not shady as in, they throw a lot of shade or any of that, but shady as in they're too afraid of who they are, and they hide themselves in a cloak, like a cloak of shadows. It's almost as if the negativity they've experienced has become who they are and the power they use. Like they're using the dark force instead of the light force. They're using, the Sith Lord energy instead of the Jedi energy. And the advice here is the negative energy is there for you to transmute into light energy, to use it as your own power, to build your empire, to move forward, and to destroy the foundations that didn't work so that you can move forward towards foundations that do work, which are part of a community. And the miracle is right there. It's literally right in front of your face, and all you have to do is accept that you've been dealing with negative energy instead of light energy. And it's totally okay, and all you have to do is reverse the process. Doing things negatively causes chaos and destruction. Doing things with light causes cohesion and moving forward and the patterns being revealed. So in order for someone to make a pendant out of this, you have to use a little negative energy and a little chaos energy to shatter and crack and destroy and shape and mold and do something with it until it's a shape. Maybe someday this will be a little heart. But in order for it to be a heart, it has to be broken first. Poetic, huh? And you've been stuck in the process of breaking yourself and those around you. A process of cruelty, a process of looking at people as if they're beneath you. Maybe you're even like, look at the mirrored earrings. Maybe you're, half of that mirror is black, half of it's white. Maybe you've been absorbing other people and their energy and pretending it's just yours, and then you emit it out, but it doesn't seem like it's yours. So in order to overcome the negative energy, you have to be your authentic self. This feminine version of you that is more masculine than the masculine you think it is. Now, let me elaborate on that, because I can feel the static, the irritation, the electrical thing of what you don't want to hear. So let me tell you anyway. In order for the masculine to be at peace within itself and the feminine, the masculine must know what it is. The masculine isn't just a lightning bolt. It's not just do, do, do. The masculine is compassion. The masculine is dignity, gentleness, protectiveness, the home, the family. Believe it or not, before the world became patriarchal, the male in the family was the one who stayed at home and took care of the kids. The masculine force was the foundation of the home. When the feminine got distorted and wasn't true in her power, the masculine couldn't handle the home, because it's similar to the women in society now not being able to properly handle a child, a home, and everything else on their own while working 4 jobs without a husband. It's just imbalanced. The scales are not balanced that way. So in order for the male to be in its power, it must embrace the feminine energy within itself. In order for the feminine to be embraced within itself, it must accept the masculine, which means the female isn't just the powerhouse. She's also the guardian. She's the mother, the creator, which means in order for her to create, she must know how to destroy. The male doesn't create. The male provides the light to create. The female is the one that creates, the female energy. And the female energy can't create without the male energy, which is what happens with Sophia and the demiurge. She tried to create with her own intersex hermaphroditic energies, but it didn't come out the right way because she went to a world and an energy system that didn't appreciate the energy she was bringing from the community of light she came from. So the negative energy she went through destroyed what happened with her, and she ended up back at this cycle of life to balance the scales within her. You can do this. You can do this very easily. All you have to do is accept that you're male and female and that your energy system is functioning based off of a collective. And if you distance yourself from the collective, all you're doing is alienating yourself and isolating yourself, causing tower moments over and over, waiting for someone to offer you a cup to better what you've been through so you can go back to the cycle of looking for the community. It's sad. And I apologize for the pain you've experienced to bring you to this state of emotional turmoil looped. But miraculous healing of the goddess energy is here for you. And all you're being asked to do is trust the female energy within yourself. Whether you're male or not, whether you're female or not, most women in society, especially in the spiritual community, function on male energy and they think it's female energy they're embodying. Most people think the divine feminine is divine feminine. But in actuality, the divine feminine is an expression of what used to be the divine masculine. And the divine masculine right now, in modern society, the definitions associated with the divine masculine are the traits of the divine feminine. So if you think you're the divine masculine, you're actually the divine feminine that needs healing. If you think you're the divine feminine, you're actually the divine masculine that needs healing. Because the roles have been reversed, because the scales were imbalanced, and the best way to balance the scales is to take the female and put it on the male vortex, and the male and put it on the female vortex. Jeez Louise. Okay. Now, I have picked up on multiple different people on YouTube that I've usually interacted with in this reading, which is fascinating. So if you're watching, hi. Thanks for watching, actually. That's really cool that I can pick up your energy like this. And your energy is returned to you with grace and dignity and cleansed by rose quartz, obviously. So, I'm going to close this off because the video is going to stop soon because my phone is running out of storage space. Is there anything else? Fairies! Is there anything else that we want to... Any other messages from the originator and all the benevolent forces of the highest light that want to share this, share their message to help these people? Aw. Everything's going to be okay. You simply have to use... Here. The maiden is at the bottom of the deck, by the way. 7, 2 plus 5 is 7. So you're being asked to have faith that everything's going to be okay. You don't have to hide. You don't have to peek around corners, and you don't have to connect yourself with someone that is going to take care of you. What you have to do is use the feminine energy within you to transfer the apple of knowledge and the pearl of wisdom away from each other. So you take the Eve, switch it with the Adam, you take the Adam and you switch it with the Eve. Role reversal. And through that you find true wisdom in the depths of darkness where the owls reside. So you take this wisdom, change it with that wisdom, intelligence, whatever you want to look at the apple as. I mean, Snow White ate an apple and died. So you take what hurt you, you find the wisdom in it, and you move forward. Because everything's going to be okay. Especially right when you think that everything's not going to be okay. The fairy godmother is that, in the book, it describes her as the saving grace, kind of. Like, it's a 2-page description, so I can't narrow it down for you that efficiently. But the silver lining kind of thing. You know, like, just when you think things are at their worst, boom, she shows up and she's like, surprise, it was all for your benefit. So yeah, you'll get through this. I know you can. I know it's a difficult process to have your entire gender aspect, your entire inner world turned upside down to where you think you've been working in the light, but with actual light coming to you, it's revealed that you're working in the shadows. And through the shadows you worked with, you can either stay in there and be a force of shadows, or you can move away from that and allow the energies of the universe to bring you towards the community of light, to be humbled before them, to work with them towards your true self with love in your heart. So I would say within the next 3 days of when you're watching this, you're going to see someone in your life that's acting very inauthentic, and the best way to handle it is to offer them love, because they're headed for self-destruction. They could be stealing other people's work. They could be doing being rude when they're not meant to be rude. They could be being, just yelling when they're not meaning to yell. Everything that means being untrue to yourself and giving away your power. Within the next 2 to 3 days, you're going to encounter someone like that, or you already have, and you're being asked to show them with these scales within yourself and gentleness and kindness and this extending an offer to bring them out of the darkness and into the light. But in order for them to do so, it has to be made okay to them that they were in the darkness. You cannot be mean to people who didn't know they were being mean. If you go to a planet that has a different functioning society, that, instead of, and excuse the analogy, but if you go towards some of the other countries in the world, they eat animals we consider pets. In the US, in other countries, they eat those animals. So you can't go to those countries and say what you're doing is wrong, you should stop. Instead, you have to offer and be like, hey, there's a better way to do this. You don't have to destroy everything. You don't have to ruin who you are and lose yourself in order to be a part of a community, because that's no community. And the bottom of the deck here, the Seven of Cups, there's a lot of confusion in your life based on the Hierophant, the community and the paradigms and the structures in your world. Under that, it's the Knight of Swords and the Four of Swords upside down beneath it, which basically means you've been going through a lot of stress and you're ready to snap. And that's okay. Maybe you need to snap. Just remember that you're snapping yourself awake. Be kind to everyone around you and be humble, because you've been living a life that isn't of the light, even though you think it's been of the light. And I'm really sorry that I had to be the one to tell you this. But I'm kind of not, because you deserve to know. And in a way, I'm glad I'm the one that tells you this, because it's better that I tell you this way than somebody standing in front of you going off on you. Because if this was allowed to continue, this tower moment would have come about with someone being really nice to you, and you would have completely exploded in them, like at them. Exploded in them? You could be getting laid soon. Just FYI. And if this is sexual in any way, shape, or form, or if this is in, what is that word? Innuendo, but not really. If this is implying any form of sexual interaction between two people or your inner self, it's kind of like inner alchemy occurring, to where your masculine and your feminine aspects of you are joining, the female triangle and the female triangle, being brought together by authentic self-expression. And it's not just your male and female sides, by the way. It's your male and female, your human, your divine, and your less than divine side. Love thyself, young starling. Love thyself.